Welcome back to the Coffee Hour. I'm Andy Bates.
I'm Sarah Golseth.
So lots of plans have changed for this fall when it comes to education, and we've talked a little bit about education for students at home, particularly. We're thinking we've been talking about like elementary, middle school, high school students, and teaching at home and virtual learning and those types of things. We've shared some tips for that. What about those college students, especially students whose universities and colleges have switched to all online learning or virtual learning or remote learning for this fall semester? What does life look like for them, and what are the options for them? So, how remote can we get in terms of education? A really unique opportunity that I'm looking forward to sharing today. Joining us today, Beth Lutz. She's Director of Programs at Camp Luther in Three Lakes, Wisconsin. Beth, thanks for being our guest on the Coffee Hour today.
Absolutely. Glad to be here.
So, Beth, share with us about Camp Luther. What is Camp Luther?
Yeah, so Camp Luther is a Christian camp in northern Wisconsin. We're a subsidiary ministry of the LCMS North Wisconsin District. And so we have programs going on all throughout the year for kids and families and people of all ages. Our mission statement here at camp is building up all people in Christ for service and witness in the world. And so we're just constantly looking for new opportunities to be able to do that with the people who come to camp and just with the body of people that we serve.
So what did summer actually look like for you since COVID kind of did mess up?
Yeah, absolutely. So like many camps, we had to kind of switch gears and just think differently about what this summer might look like. And so we're in some ways in a very fortunate position in that we have always done a family camp program at Camp Luther in the summer. We have 14 cottages that are right along the shoreline of the lake that we're on. And so most summers we do family camp with those cottages. And so as we approach the summer this year and we started to kind of make decisions about, are we going to move forward with our normal youth programming or not? Once we made the decision that no, we're not going to do our normal youth programs, we kind of went full force into family style programming where we could have people come in kind of smaller groups where they were comfortable, being around the people in that group. And just how we're set up here, we're able to kind of keep a lot of different groups separate, because we're doing outdoor stuff. We have the space, we have the buildings. And so our programming this summer has been mainly family camp programming. And so families have been able to come and stay in our cottages, stay in our retreat center, and also stay in our villages. We have these kind of themed cabins, rustic cabins in the woods. So we have, for example, Ark Village, which is like this big boat just in the middle of the woods. And so families have been able to come and stay and participate in all the fun camp activities like canoeing and kayaking and our beach area and all that stuff. And we've kind of set things up to make sure that families can kind of stay separate from other family groups. And so it's really been an incredible summer, completely different from what we were anticipating going into this year. And yet it's been so cool to hear the stories of families that are so grateful for an experience like this, to be able to come up and do something like this with their family. And also we've had a lot of families who have been sending their campers to camp for years, but the parents have never had a chance to kind of see what camp is all about. And so getting to see families kind of experience that together has really been a joy this summer.
So paint a picture for us. Where would we find Camp Luther? What's the environment like?
Absolutely. So Camp Luther is in the north woods of Wisconsin. We're in an area that is just filled with forests and lakes. Camp Luther itself is on the largest inland chain of lakes in the world. So we are on a waterway that's 28 different lakes that are all connected together. You'll have people, get in their boat and start on one end of the chain and kind of go through all the different lakes. And so just a beautiful, beautiful area. Camp Luther itself is situated on about 200 acres of just beautiful pine and hardwood forest. Kind of our main camp area is right on a lake called Rangeline Lake. And we have kind of pretty much the entire southern shoreline of that lake to ourselves. So just a beautiful setting, just a great place to come and get away and experience God's creation.
What are some of the other things that people look forward to when they get to visit Camp Luther? You already mentioned Several.
Absolutely. There's a lot of fun activities to at camp, but I think what kind of keeps people coming back and what they find most special about that camp setting is one, just the kind of faith building things that we do. So we have campfire devotions every evening. And so just a chance to kind of come together, sing fun camp songs. A lot of them have, silly actions that go along with them. And hear someone just share from God's word and kind of share the work that Jesus has been doing in their life. For a lot of people, that's so impactful. And just the relationships that you build at camp. I know time and time again, when I'm talking to people about camp and why they come back, what impacts them while they're here, it's just the relationships that they form with the people that they meet here, with our staff. Just that kind of Christian community that you get to be a part of is something that's so special and unique, I think, in our world. Just a chance to kind of come to a place apart, to kind of put away the stresses of the world for a little bit and come to a place where it's just a little bit easier to hear God's voice and be reminded of who you are and of who he is and the work that he's doing in your life.
So if you're a college student and this sounds like an amazing place to be to you, listen even closer now. Beth, tell us about the student program for the student life program for this fall.
Yeah, so this is a brand new idea we just came up with for camp, and it originated as we have a very small summer staff crew this year. We have 7 staff members, college students who are helping us with kind of various aspects of our programming this summer. And we were just talking to them about what it's going to look like for them to go back to school this fall. And they were just talking about the changes that are happening on their campuses, the fact that a lot of their schooling is going to be online, even if they're physically on campus, just the restrictions on kind of the social interactions that would normally be a part of that campus life. And so kind of coming out of that conversation just sparked kind of what initially seemed like this just wild, crazy idea of what would it look like for us to provide a home for college students this year and provide a setting where they could come and live at camp and have that intentional community that's just so critical, in that life stage. But do their classes here if they're doing, an online program or if their school is doing something like that. And so started as kind of just this, oh, hey, that'd be cool. And we just kept going with it until it kind of came to life as what we're calling the Student Life Program. And so the idea behind this program is it's for college students who are taking online classes, whose colleges may be doing, online learning this year. And they can come and they can live at camp. And, we're providing housing, we're doing a meal plan for them. But the best part about that is they get to be a part of a community while they're here. So they get to be surrounded by other students. They get to be built up in their faith. They get to form relationships with the Camp Luther staff community. And so just trying to provide ministry to those students who are maybe facing a lot of uncertainty or just not knowing what this school year is going to look like for them. We wanted to provide a place that could be home for them during that time. So that's kind of the short summary of our hope and our vision for what the Student Life Program is going to be.
That is such an awesome idea. And I totally wish that I could have lived at camp during college. It's so great. Are there any requirements for students who are thinking that this could be a great opportunity for them?
Yeah, absolutely. So we do kind of the base requirement is just that students have graduated high school and are at least 18. We did think there may be some students out there who are taking just kind of a break for a semester or maybe looking for the next step, and this could be a great program for them as well. Kind of how the program is structured is that it's $1,000 per semester. So the fall semester runs from September through January, and then the spring semester runs from February through May. So students could pick to do one or both semesters, kind of depending on what their situation looks like. And we set that price to be kind of, it's really just an at-cost price for what it costs camp to house these students and to provide them with meals throughout the year. So we wanted to make it kind of as affordable as possible just to be a ministry to these students. And so when you come, housing is provided in our retreat center. We have kind of a lower wing of that building that has 6 rooms set up down there and like a nice little lounge area that students will be living in. And then for our meal plan, our plan is to provide 10 meals per week is kind of what that covers. So some meals will be on their own, and we'll provide a kitchen area for them to use for that, but they'll get kind of the main meals throughout the week as well. And then we ask that students who are taking part of this program, we want them to be involved with the ministry and the mission of Camp Luther. And so kind of helping to offset some of the costs of camp, we're asking them to just spend around 5 hours a week serving camp in some way. So that could look like a variety of different projects throughout the year. And then we also want these students to be involved in some of the group retreats that we run throughout the year. So we're asking them to help serve with one or two of our retreat groups each month. And so not only a benefit to camp and just helping us to serve other people, but also just a cool thing for those students to be involved with, being able to serve with the mission of camp.
That sounds like a lot of fun. Like I'm there.
I want to
go. I'm not really a student anymore, though. Although maybe I should enroll this year.
I mean, you totally could.
Tell us more about, we have just about 2 minutes, a minute left, how to apply and how to get more information.
Yeah, absolutely. So Camp Luther's website is campluther.com. And right on the front page, there's a button that says Student Life. You can click that. That'll take you to a page that kind of takes you through all the details that you'll need to know about this program. And so to apply for it, there's an online application that's linked right on that Student Life page. And so it's not too bad. It's pretty short, but all you need to do is fill that out. And then one of our staff members will contact you to set up an interview and just talk to you about the program and make sure that all of your questions are answered, that you have a really good idea of everything that's going to be involved with this program. And so we've set, this was one of those things where it's kind of come together late in the summer, and we realize a lot of students maybe already have signed leases or already have plans, but we're really just excited to see what God is going to do with this. And so we've set kind of August 21st as our deadline. Our goal is to have at least 5 students enrolled in this program by that date. So if you're interested, if this is something that you're saying, this may fit with my semester, this is something that maybe I was looking for, really encourage you to look into it, apply as soon as possible. I think it's going to be just an incredible program. I've already got all kinds of ideas of what it's going to look like to build the community in this group and just build them up during their time here at camp for the semester. So we would love to have you consider it. But yeah, go to campluther.com and you can find all the information you would ever want to know about what this program entails.
That's like real remote education. Beth Lutz, Director of Programs at Camp Luther in Three Lakes, Wisconsin, talking about the Student Life program for this fall at Camp Luther. Check it out, campluther.com. Beth, thanks so much for being our guest on the Coffee Hour today.
Absolutely. Thank you as well.
I'm Andy Bates.
I'm Sarah Golseth.
The Coffee Hour with Andy and Sarah is a production of KFUO. To support the Coffee Hour and KFUO Radio, visit KFUO.org. You can also text KFUO to 41444 or send an email to gifts@KFUO.org. And you can call us at 800-844-0524. KFUO. Christ for you, anytime, anywhere.